Hey guys, it's me. How y'all doing today? So today we are going to be doing, honestly, I don't know how long today is going to be, but we have 4 bags of clay. These two are like very teeny compared to some of the other 2 bags. Yes, yes, that did just happen. Remember, I'm working on a kind of a door that likes to move. So anything it likes to pop on us. But anyways, that sounded like I like threw something, didn't it? I'm not sure if you guys can see, but we did do a dish like this with our last round of the clays. These have some really good indentation. You can barely see it. Get that any? Has some really good indentations that turned out nicely in the last dish. So we're gonna try to do that with the rest of our clay here and see what we could come up with. The back side, I am not going to do the cookie cutter like we did the last ones. They turned out nice, but honestly, it just looked like a big old head of cauliflower. I mean, truthfully, that's what it looked like. So this clay has been around for quite some time, so it is going to need to be worked just a bit. And if your clay gets a little bit old or a little bit dry, all you have to do is add a little bit more glue or water. Today we were actually going to do the water until I feel that it might need some a little bit more working. We will have, okay, that's an empty. Aurora found a piece of the empty candy wrapper, and all I saw was chocolate, and I'm like, is that in there? That's all I need to do right now is run after Aurora. She runs faster than I do. Like she runs faster than me. um, so we are going to be using a handy dandy roller. You do want to keep this wet while working with the clay. If you guys have a the glass ones, those would definitely work better. We are going to be working on two sizes of yeah, words. I'm telling you, words are not my friend today. We have this size cutting boards. Thank you, cutting boards, and this colors. Can't really see it, but that's okay. Try not to like make it too big of a mess, but that is what we're dealing with. Is it still flipped for you when you watch this? Like if I hold it, if I hold it, if I hold it this way, can you see? Well, not read, but would you be able to know that was like this is the top of the bag? Okay, cool. I tried to switch that in the settings so that it wasn't flipped. I don't know what was getting it. I still can't get the colors to work properly either. Like this is a green and it looks blue. So yeah. It does. So I don't know what is going on. I don't have any chroma keys. I checked that right before doing this. I even had old Bob come over and check it. The same thing with the lighting. Girls, I don't know. It's been one of those things. I'm not going to go very thick with the bowl. I think I should have brought the other bowl out actually. As you can see, it's very crumbly still. So that's not going to be too bad of a problem. This clay was made to be sort of crumbly so that when I do work with it, all I would have to do is concentrate it with a little bit more water. Because if you get it too wet, then it starts to break down all the fibers. And good day to whoever just walked in. Sorry, I can't see the word.
Hi, I booped your head.
Boop. Hey, boop.
Oh, you're making a mess.
Yes.
All right.
Yep, I'm making a mess.
Wait, are you streaming?
I am.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Let me get in there.
I would have streamed earlier today, however, Bob was on, and I have everybody on speaker. So, yeah. I didn't want that to go off when he was doing his thing. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, everybody has. I need to go through like every single stream I've ever done with the crafting, even with my videos, and like type out everything that people have said, like food wise, that they've said my stuff has looked like. I've gotten meat. I've gotten sausage. I've gotten broccoli. Huh?
Biscuits and crackers.
Yes. Let's see what else. I mean, yeah. Toast. Toast is a good one. Yes, toast. Burnt toast.
Yeah. Whatever those square things were.
Yeah. Okay. So as you guys just saw, I did add some water. I did not weigh it or anything. We're just playing it by ear. That's just to reconcentrate some of this. I'm telling you, this table is not a good one to do this with because I'm pushing down on it and the whole because it's a door and the whole door is like any push down with it.
Strong.
Oh. But just let anybody know who's just coming in. But duck, but duck. Just to let everybody know, we do have a new foster. He is doing very well today, and he is kicking it with the rest of the clan. Oh, that is Princess with the hairball. He's kicking it with the clan in the bedroom. Everybody's taken to him very nicely, except for Aurora. Aurora cannot stand kittens. She thinks they're the most evilest thing in the world.
That's because Aurora's a brat.
I'm telling you, she was raised by old Bob, so you know that makes sense. Like it makes sense. Like how does she turn out? Like she's a straight up drama queen. I was holding her and she was like, "You're killing me. I'm like, I'm not killing you, girl. I'm just holding you." But then at nighttime, when she's sleepy, she gets those bags under her eyes, and it's all over. It's all mama time. You know when that line, you know, kids are so sweet when they're sleeping. It's true. Like it's true. So later on, we will have Kitty sightings. So definitely look out for that.
Yeah, they're gonna try and eat your clay.
Oh no, the clay is not gonna be anywhere near them. It does have glue. All the items in this is non-toxic, you know, like the all glue and all of that. But still, you never.
That means it's edible.
Yeah, so better safe than sorry. And anyway, I mean, these are kittens. They do try to eat the cat litter. Don't ask me why.
So is this the same clay recipe that you used before?
It is. It's exactly the same clay. I just didn't realize, well, I didn't remember that I had stored some of the clay in our small refrigerator. So when I went to go put the bread in there to freeze it, I found 3 packages of the clay. So I got a lot more clay than I thought, because, you know.
There you go.
Yeah. Actually.
Well, the other half of the reason I was asking is I was wondering if you figured out how to make it less chunky so you can manipulate it better.
With that, I believe just mixing it longer, a lot more water, that I believe would suffice. Trying to get it so I can actually do this and you guys get to see it at the same time. Even with just the water that I use, darn it. the water I just used now kind of smoothed it out a little bit. If it wasn't for the fact that I bought the huge thing of the recycled insulation, I would definitely try the other recipes again. But at this point in time, yeah, I'm not gonna use toilet paper. Even though that would give us more of a very white. Definitely going to need to go thinner on this, but trying to get all the edges.
Okay, I'm gonna jump off Discord. I'm gonna bother some other people while I do things.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll hang out in chat though.
Oh, cool. Had to get that bad duck in there, you know? I mean, as you can see, this is very, very pliable. I mean, honestly, if I wanted to, I could probably get this into any shape that I want. Now, if it will dry like that, who knows? It doesn't take, like, very fine. Like, if you use any of, like, the other clays, the other paper clays, they take, what is the word I'm looking for? Details, like, very finely. But with this one, you guys really can't see it. That's just help at all. This does keep most of the details that you add in here, but you're not going to get very, very fine details like you would with the other clays. But what you see is definitely what you will get. If you do see a little indentation, if you see a crack, anything like, you guys really can't see what I just did, but there's a really, with the edge of this, it kind of sliced that will stay like that if I don't smooth it out. And all these colors will show up. It will get a little lighter, but mostly it will stay this color. Okay. Make sure that I can actually fit the clay onto it. Now what I'm going to do is, this is going to be my tree leaf. Sorry guys, I'm having a total brain meltdown every time I stream. I don't know why. But this is going to be my tree leaf collection words. And what I'm going to do is, on each of these, they're going to be painted differently. All of the veins of this leaf is going to be the trunk of the trees and the branches. And then what I'm going to do after that is paint some in like the cherry blossoms. Some of them are going to be, I'm going to push that away. As you can see, this cuts really, really nicely. It just breaks off into little chunks that you can reuse if you need to. It's just really easy to smooth out if you make a mistake, like I do a lot. Now this is actually bows in, so we're gonna have more of the edge lifted than we would if I just did it the opposite way. Some of them are gonna have maroon leaves and flowers. Some of them are just gonna look like trees. It's going to be a fun process to paint. I really do like this clay. So far with making all of these batches, I have made them exactly the same, except for this batch. I left a little less water while making it so that I could reconstitute it, concentrate, I don't know words, I'm gonna get a thing that says "Don't touch it" in words. I'm telling you.
Rehydrate.
Thank you. That is the word. Yes. The Wonderful Yums wins it for 10 points. And then also you get a less chance of mildewing or molding, since this is made out of some natural items like the flour and such. There is pine sol and a lot of salt, so that it doesn't do that. But just like anything, you're going to have a chance of that happening, especially since we didn't have power. I did worry about that quite a bit. Okay, this still feels a little bit uneven, but we got it about the shapes and the size that we're looking into. And as you can see, none of this has actually been sticking onto our rolling pin as of yet, and that is a good thing, because we do want this very pliable. Okay, grab my little spatula, which I love, and I'm just gonna. Aurora's attacking me. And see, as that just gave cut in the middle. All I did was put it down and then patted it. See if this. Close to the way I cut it in the first place. Like I said before, what you see is what you will get, so you want to make sure that they're as even as possible. If you guys just pat down on the edges, you can feel any types of bubbles that might come up. If there is any bubbles, you can just go ahead and use your fingers or a little pick or whatever your tool of choice is. Like this side is definitely thicker than my other sides. Now you're not trying to squish your clay, you're just wanting to kind of push it into those crevices that were the veins of the leaf. Pinch off anything that you don't need, put it back into the ball there. Really easy to apply, fix. I have 5 of these dishes, so yay. Okay, stop. You focus? Very good. My camera has this thing where it's like it's trying to focus on something that's not there. Darn ghost, get out of my house. No, I'm kidding. Also, what you can do is once you are done with your clay and you want to smooth this out, what you can do is just take a little bit of your water and then just rub your fingers across. You will get the little fibers here and there that will come up with it. Don't worry about if you do. If you guys do get little cracks, all you have to do once again is just wet your fingers and kind of just smooth it in. One of the reasons why I like this clay so much. It looks very chunky, which you can leave it the chunk, you know, if that's what you're looking for, or you guys can just smooth it out that way as well. Just remember, the more water you add into this clay, just like any of the other paper clays, you will want to make sure that it has a thicker patch, because the more you water it down, the more soluble words, the more it breaks down, because we're using the all glue, which breaks down from the water. So everything is very easily washable as well. Right. This is not flat, even though you'd swear to goodness it was. Trying to get all of these, like that piece right there has a little nugget that I know. Since we are using the insulated clay, you're going to find little chunks like this of plastics, because, you know, even like us, when they do the recycled stuff, no one actually cleans out all of their plastic. You get little guggers. Bless you. Now, something like this, I did not make it very thick. Focus on that. It's not very thick. It is about a little thinner than that all the way around. Something like this is going to take, give or take, 4 to 5 days to dry. In about 2 days, what I'm going to do is, since this is paper clay, it's going to shrink. So it's going to be really easy to pop out of a bowl like this. Now, if you're going to do like the opposite side, which is the flat side, and there's no detail or anything, excuse me, this side, since it is, did I really do that? I did.
No.
And the bloopers start, my friends. The bloopers start. Okay.
Put it in the wrong side of the bowl.
I literally did, yes. That's okay. Hey, that's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine.
For the drafting.
Oh, okay. So, like I was mentioning, because it is going to be on the outside now, if it's going to be on something like this, it's going to shrink. So it's going to actually be a little bit harder to pop off. So when it's about halfway to pretty dry, what you're going to do is pop it off really easy, kind of go around the edges very, very slightly and pull them up. We will have a video on that for you. Okay, so this is this one. Oh, no, I was kind of hoping it was going to pop off for me. I was hoping it was going to just pop, but it didn't. Okay. See? Not too big of a problem. So depending on what side you use on something, if you're on the outside, you want it to be a little bit more dry than if you would have something on the inside, because if it's on the inside, it's going to shrink and pop out of the container a lot easier than it would on the opposite side. So, while that is said, this is all messed up. So we have a different type of flowering going on. All these dishes are the same, but for some reason it seems like the leaves are different. So I'll just have to play with it a little bit more to get it even the way I want to. As you can see, this one does have a lot more cracks in it, and that's just because we flipped it and tore it out of its path. But nothing too bad that we can't manipulate it back into some type of a workable item. Yes, that really did happen. Oh. And of course in my mind was thinking, oh, that actually went on pretty easy. I am trying to keep the shape of the bowl, since that also goes with the shape of the sleeve that makes it look like a tree once it is dry. Also, this clay is really great for when it does dry, and if it cracks, it's really easy to do. All you do is just get your fingers, or whatever you're doing, a little bit wet, take a piece of the clay, and just work it in. Work it, girl. Trying to get in my head. Okay, now you see all of this cracking here. And then take, like I mentioned before, take a more clay, kind of pat it in. We will, after this clay is done, make a whole new batch. That batch will be made a little bit different. I'm going to try to beat it more. Just mix it. But when I do, I'm going to have to need old Bob's help, because honestly, having the big gallon container, you know, the water huge buckets, I can't fit that in between my legs and hold the drill at the same time, because it just starts twirling. Okay. Hi, sweetheart. Is that our Chin Chin?
That is an Ellie.
Oh, hello, Ellie. I do not have a little baby here to make you think something's wrong. At least, Aurora is not meowing right this second, so. And Mommy's not trying to get out of the door either, so that's a plus. All of these cracks. Kind of endure. Remember, if you do make it too thin, it will chip a lot easier, faster. So that is why you do. Usually they say at least your finger to your first knuckle thick of clay. I do mine a lot thinner. One, my fingers are thinner, but that doesn't matter. It's too thick. I do believe that you lose a lot of the details that you're trying to get. If you guys just saw, I put some more clay in a little pocket that formed. And you can't even tell I even put something there. Okay. And that's when my eyes start stitching, right? When your hands look like this. So as you can see, you do always, if you can, you do want to try to tip over your item to check it out to make sure there's no bubbles that you might see. Like right here, there's a bubble. Right here, I can see some of the juices kind of forming in that little indentation. But that is very easy to fix. Doesn't feel too moist. Forgive the people who dislike that word, but that is what we're looking for. Is don't want a saturation of water on these edges. Now I will come in here in about give or take an hour and do this as well. That's just like I said, to take any more cracks or little crevices, bubbles that might have popped up, and get these little fibers to kind of smooth out so that there's less sanding. Sanding is really easy with this type of clay once it is dry, but who wants that extra work? There we go. Number one. You can also add any types of embellishments or anything like you want to. Some people, you know, depending on what type of dish or items they could do, a few little balls of this, make feet. I think that would look really cute, but don't know if that would actually turn out. I think it would make it too flat at this point. Right through that. There we go. Now this will go upside, well, this way. So as you can see, the veins are popping out a little bit more. Oh, I can't see if you guys can see that, but all of the clay is in the indentation. And mark on. And we have a ball left. Keep your area clean. Yeah, I think actually that might do one more little dish. It is still making that smush sound like you will hear with anything wet. With this style of clay, that is what you want to hear. Oh wow, that was Popcorn Princess and Daisy y'all just playing. That was cute. And yeah, as you can see, I don't know if you guys saw that or not real fast since it did go down. The clay does like to come up. You just pat it down and remove any clay that is on your rolling pin. Start. You do always want to check out your sides, make sure they're the same thickness as like the middle. Geez, this looks like the round outside with all of these cracks in there. Side's looking good. Really doesn't need any water added. Ooh, that was way too much water. Now it's really making that slushy sound. Okay. Now, let's remember, it is going on the opposite side. This is Louise. Make sure any open containers are closed because, like I said, we will be having kitten sightings. Now, I am trying to lift this up as easy as I can so it does not crack. We cracked a bit, but like I said, with this clay, it's really easy just to smooth it out and fit it back into place. These have a really good lip on them. I really don't know what they're made for. Some of them have a little bit of a gap, and then some of them don't. But I do believe all of them do have the same shape, as in the veins for the leaves. So, hey. This means some plates are going to be a little shorter than others. I'll turn this around on that edge in a second to see what that side looks like. There we go. What are you doing? Oh, to you too. Yeah? Jules was just in a corner scratching at it underneath a chair. What, dude? I'm telling you, if I can move my camera, I would, but when I do my crafting streams, any indentation of movement is not a fun thing. Okay, as long as he doesn't try to jump up on me, I'm okay on that one. Oh, as soon as I said that, of course, he runs towards me. I'm like, wait a second, we're gonna have a Joel sighting. If it was Jordan and you hear me scream, that's just because he jumped on me. He does this running leap and expects me to catch him every time. I do. Not always in a ladylike way, but he's still caught. Okay, and if you have anything that kind of goes over the edges then you want, you just pinch it off. Having all these cracks that are going to pop up. This is how my coffee cup broke, by the way. Cats were acting all goofy. Hit something, that something hit my hit this table. Coffee cup thought it was safe. Did nope. Still picking up coffee stains, guys.
Nothing is safe for cats.
Right. Like how it's like it was a straight like mouse trap. You know, like one thing hit one thing hit another thing, and went all the way down, and coffee cup went flying, guys. Coffee cup went flying. Now it looks like spider webs. It looks like spider webs. But it's drinkable, so. Not a big. Sides look good. They don't look too thick in the tips. Doesn't feel too watered down. Might want it a bit more. This side. Bless you. You do also want to make sure, since this is still going to be a dish, you want to make sure that the bottom is flat, so when it sets down, it doesn't rock. That is what I'm having actually an issue with these dishes in the first place, is they really do rock. So no matter what, you're going to have a sounding dish. Always check your insides once again to make sure that all the crevices look like it's being filled in. Like right here, you can definitely see a pothole. So just push it down with your finger. Thing with that spot there, and I do see actually a lot of indentations that need to be done. Too much. Ow! I'm playing it smart since we have so many kittens in the house. I'm wearing 2 pairs of sweats. Still hurts. Still hurts, guys. Oh, you should see the video I took this morning of all the kittens. It's like they think I'm a jungle gym, which is fine. But it's the first half hour of the morning after they've eaten, so I've always think that's the cutest, because they go from tired to, oh, let's eat everything in the world, to rambunctious and let's get into everything, to pass out. And we're gonna have Aurora. Hi, Aurora. Hi. I'm gonna come this way. There's nothing there. A smell? Hey, nope. She looked at it for a split second. She was like, okay, I'm done. I'm done, Mom. Alright, so that is dish 2. So that was one bag. That was one of the smaller bags. And we got 2 dishes the same thickness. So I'm actually pretty happy with that. The recipe, crud. Only thing I'm not happy with is I thought I'd be able to fit 2 dishes in my drying rocks, but I can only fit 1 at a time. But hey, that's fine. Love these drying racks. All right. Bring over our dish again. I am definitely going to have more clay than dishes. Then one was doing. Oh, I forgot. Break it up. Now remember, always break up your sausage.
She's getting so big.
She is getting really big, I do agree. And at this time, you can definitely need to check your clays. This is actually a really, really hard piece of, I don't know what, plastic? Usually you don't get that big of debris into, but you just sometimes never know what you're going to find. That is why if you use like the toilet paper or the newspaper, you know what's actually going into this and all the extra items that you might find into it. Broken up. I've already used 2 capfuls of water. I guess I need a cat cam for the house. You can also at this point use dyes if you like. Just know if you guys do the dyes in the mixing process, wear gloves. Unless you're like me, who doesn't mind having her hands colored for days at a time.
That's what Max was like. Was that a kitty?
That was a kitty. Hey Tesla, how you doing, buddy? That was a kitty. That was Aurora. All the water got into that ball there. At this point in time, I'm not seeing any debris while I'm touching it. It's not cracking badly. Gotta stop that fake focus. Right now the clay is sticking to the rolling pin and cracking a lot, but right now I'm just trying to get it to a semi evenness around. I might actually need to rethink the liquid content in this one. It is a lot more chunky than I like. but easy fix. Just roll it all into the middle. Ooh, you good?
Yep. Knocking cans, everyone. That's how I roll.
Well, that's at least how they roll.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad. I'm bad, guys. I can't tell jokes. Yep, see? It just sticks. Bring it back off. Roll it out. And
rip it off.
Down.
A bunches. That's it.
I have to remember that when I test out the camera angles before I go live, it shows a difference in length and width. Then when it does go live, it actually shrinks up a lot. So my middle when I test it is not the same middle as when I have it on. And the same thing if I'm in Discord, that's a totally different angles as well. So it's like, it's really hard you can't just put an X on the table and be like, that's a spot. And when you have stuff that moves around, like something like this, it also makes it really hard because you're like, yeah, planted it in this right spot in the first place. Roll it out. Good. Fine. Yep. Stuck right there. And it was a big piece that just came up, so I'm really worried. Oh, right there, good. I was just gonna say I'm really worried about where that was in the on the bottom of this. I'm just kind of smushing it into the leaf shape and rolling the clay where I would like it. once again take off where the loop is, since we will not be having the loop. Okay. Hey, Pop Pops. See? Very easy to clean up. Making sure all of it stays the same thickness all the way around so we don't have the chips. That is no fun. Have a beautiful round dish and then you have an indentation. Yeah, they're one of a kind, but still. Something going on in this spot. Okay. Make sure the don't fill any bubbles, don't fill any creases. Everything pretty much fills. Nice and soft. Like I said, just also if you'd like, you can just dampen your finger a little bit with a little bit of the clay, smoothen anything that might need to. I will be doing that in about an hour or so after these have started to settle, just to kind of do these little potholes that I'm seeing. And that will be filled in with any of the loose fibers that this is creating. There. Patience. Good. Feels pretty flat, so once it's actually on its own, it will sit straight. Just put the clay, so and everything's gonna go flying because I wasn't. Perfect example. This is the second one that we've actually just did, and you guys really can't see this. Maybe you can, But I set one of these on top. I set one of these on top of this, and it actually made a star indentation, and it has a whole bunch of water that has been squished out of it. Actually, I really like that style. I just wish it was more in the center. So in a second, I'm gonna come back out and have to squish that down. But hey, you live, you learn, right? Now, this is that same one that I just showed you, and all I did was take my finger, rub into the clay, and it is perfectly gone. I will get this camera angles down at some point in my life. It will happen. It will happen, my friends. It will. But lesson learned, I can't stack both of these on each other. They can go crisscross though, so I'm happy about that because they are stackable. And I have crazy cats. If it was more spring-ish fall time at this point, I can actually let these settle outside, but since it's not, I'm going to have to find a safe area in the house. Which at this point, the only room I think is safe is the laundry room, because that cat never moves. Alright, so this one here has a lot more water. This is the first ball we made of that second bag. So we'll see how much more pliable this one is compared to that one. Don't think we're going to get a full dish out of this ball. Okay, so since I definitely know we're not going to get a dish out of this bowl, we're going to switch up and do a different dish. Yes, I know I have 2 more bags that I can play with, but why tempt it? We got other things to. In so all the cracks. Since we are also here and the color is sort of the way it's supposed to be, at least not as bad as it was on my last stream, I do apologize for that. I hope the volume is also better in this stream compared to the last one. That was really weird. Like, I was listening to the vid on it while I was recording the video for the full experiment. And it was like cutting out every other word. It was really weird. So when I was doing the full experiment video, I basically had to cut out like everything and just kind of have it on fast mode. Okay, so these are just tops of candy dishes that I really like. This side has an indentation and kind of little indivents here, where this side is completely flat and only, I mean, honestly, it has barely any on this side. But what I like to do is get this side, since it can go inside of here and then shrink. What I like to do is just use this as a cookie cutter. Pop up and snap. Is a snap. Goodness, Daisy. Is it a full moon or something, guys? Because the cats are acting crazy. And now to clean up with the sides, you just go around with your finger and it cleans up so nicely. Nice crisp edge. Okay. Make sure there's no excess on this. From the guy, bring it back over and in. And like always, what you see is what you get. WYSIWYG when it comes to clay. Any type of clay, people. Flip over. My indentations look good. I do see a lot of still more cracking, but really, that's not going to be too hard to smooth out once it is. You need to, if you're using something flat like this, always squish it in. And that is another dish. We have made these before. If you see any of the dish sets, that is on the Facebook page. Some of them do have their own little dish that kind of goes with them. Now, if I wanted to, I can always pop that out and just keep it as is, the square. It will dry actually a lot faster that way, but I don't think we're going to get too many small dishes in. And if we do, I can always make the bowl sets to kind of go with them. This is already drying out a little bit too much. Also, if you guys don't want a whole bunch of cracking, what you can do is after you do the first initial roll like this, you guys can always bring these over and do a pancake. And then the glass will actually flatten it on that side as well. And of course it does that. And if it does that, you can either put a little bit more water onto your rolling pin or onto your fingers and just pat it back in. But since this is so moist as it is, we can just smooth it out without any problems. All the sides are even. Ooh, that actually fit pretty nicely. Bring your fingers along the edges and just clean up any of the fibers that are around it. Back into the stack. Okay. Once again, we are going to use the inside of this. So when it shrinks, it automatically just pops out of it by itself. Now, since we used pine sol to make this for the molding process, or the non-molding process, it smells really nice. And also with like dishes like this, you can put in essential oils in there, any type of fragrance that you like as well. These are not edible, meaning you cannot use these for like food dishes or anything like that, but for like candy dishes or anything that is not going to kind of seep into your clay, even if with a sealer. You could probably use like a resin. I was going to say raisin. That shows you how much I actually use the resin. Never. And you can get that type of resin to cover your dishes with the paper clay. But with any other sealers, it's just not recommended to use for food or outside pottery. I repeat that. Please do not go outside. Well, okay, it's late at night, so the person who I gave my first set of dishes to, very first set, very pretty, did a pour on them. They turned out gorgeous. We put them outside on our patio. Okay, now what I'm doing is just pushing down to get all of them into the little crevices that kind of swirl. You do not, since this is flat onto the, you do not want to just lift up, because if you do, it does a little stickiness, and so half of it, most of the time, half of it stays onto here, and you do get a little pull. That one actually worked. Don't ask me why, but usually you just slide it off to the side and you're good. Okay. Clean up your edges for anything that might have been left, little fibers. And like the other dishes, in about an hour, I'll just come over with a wet finger and smooth out any of the fibers that might be sticking up, so that when I go to sand these, it's less. And we got a little guy left, so we'll keep him on the side. Who knows? We might actually make a little figure. Each batch of clays or polymers that I make up that are homemade, I really do like to make a little figure. Some little guys come out super silly. Okay, pick up your mess. Okay. There is one bag I am actually really worried about. The ones I've used already, have never been out of the refrigerator since I made them. This one has actually been transported back and forth. It has dried out. And yeah, this one's going to be a test batch for sure. Compared to the rest of them. Why did I do that? I don't know. I'm telling you, I go stupid when I turn on the camera. Let's go. No, don't fall. This will probably not, I should state, need a lot of water, since it is still very pliable. It just looks like very crunchy at this point. I'm just trying to find all the little strays. That bag actually had a lot compared to the others. The recipe that is up on the site and on YouTube actually made a 7 pounds of clay. This is actually a really lightweight clay, so we got a lot out of it. So I'm actually really excited about these clays. With the bowls that we've made and the dishes we've made and everything else, I can actually take almost my full strength and try to break it, and it doesn't. So they dry really nice. Mom, you want some sausage? I've never watched that show. I don't know what it's from. Old Bob does it all the time, but he does this thing with his fingers, which still I don't understand, but he says to watch the movie. Okay, so what I'm doing now is just kneading it. I'm just pushing everything that I have on the top, rolling it under and to the bottom. It's mixed up evenly. Pretty much can't see it, I know, I'm sorry, but yeah. To you guys, it just looks completely even. Still kind of crumbly, but Now what you laughing at, girly?
Belly button.
Huh?
Belly button.
Oh. Yeah, right? Still wondering how I'm gonna do the faces. I honestly, I'm not sure. I just have to get over the fear. Not the feeling of failure. I don't think. You know, it's just the fear of doing something that's totally out of my comfort range.
Right.
But yeah, I do like that. But enough.
Okay, so there's people watching right now.
I do. Hi to everybody who's coming in and joining me. Today we are working with homemade paper clay, and we are working on a series that's going to be from start to finish, where we make dishes that are going to have trees on them, and each dish is going to have a different style tree with different wonderful colors and backgrounds. Some are going to have pours on them, some are going to have sunsets. It's going to be, and I will bring out the first one we did with it to kind of show you guys the idea. I will also bring out the experiment and show you guys how that turned out, since the color is sort of a little bit better today on our stream. Okay, so like perfect example. This is green. To you guys, it looks blue. But that's the only blue that's in there. The rest of it is green. So that should tell you guys how bad the color chrome is. That is bright, bright green. It's really weird. And we're tearing and moving at the same time. Usually why I like to go from the middle. Instead of using the edges of the rolling pins, I like to use the middle so that I get an even push. You usually don't get a pull up when I do it that way either. Push everything back into the center. Like anything you roll out, the sides get a lot thinner. Little bit more stuck. If I need to, I can always grab another bit of a handful of the clay. Now Daisy is trying to find a place to hide. Yeah, something's going on. Let it down too fast. I didn't center it. Pat it down. I'm not actually going to have to add too much to these sides here, which is surprising because I thought it was a lot smaller clay than it was. So now we're just going to fill in this side. So like I said, just take your piece and then kind of roll it into the next. Sorry for the tapping, but like I mentioned before, these are not even in any way on how they're made on either side, the bottom or the top, depending on how you're holding on to these. And if you do get a little bit too much clay in a certain section, just roll it out to the tip and then pinch it off. Or even roll it off like that piece there. Came up super easy. Okay. Yeah, see, this one is a lot more cracking than the rest. Is good. Pinching off into these little crevices so that we're not sticking out. Okay, and all the places I just added the clay from the opposite side doesn't have any lines or creases. That is awesome. Come on. But this really does have some really nice creases. First bowl that we did like this really turned out nicely, so I have high hopes. A lot bigger than our last two, but that is fine. You can always use it to make another teeny dish. Jesus, swear to goodness. Let's see. One hand on the roller, one hand on the glass. That is what we're gonna have to do for this for this one. I keep saying I'm gonna make stoppers for these with like hot glue or something. Just pushing the side so that we can get it even. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I almost can leave this as is and just kind of oval it a little bit more. But almost a nice canvas. Act like a pancake. This is where, like I said, one of those really big pizza, the pizza flippers would come in. Spatulas? I don't know what they're actually called. Set it on it. Like I mentioned before, this has a lot more play than the other batches. So we're going to have a lot more pinch off. Add it in. At the same sides, get making sure we get these indications in there from the leaves, side panels. It doesn't just look like a blob on the side. And off the holes. And while you do kind of smooth out these little creases that have popped up, you can definitely feel where you're going to have to flatten out little areas or push up with your tips of your fingers if it's too thin. Since I do have teeny little hands. I actually love this because I can actually palm the clay with my hand and kind of just keep it in a little even pressure all the way around. Fibers kind of around, filling in all of the cracks that are there. That spot was going to be that. Like I mentioned the slide before, sometimes you can pick them up very nicely without having too big of a problem. Sometimes you have to slide it off of the surface that time. Because if I didn't, it would have just totally stuck to the glass that we're working on and popped right off. Sides don't look too shabby. This one's a little bit more rustic than the others. So who knows? Maybe this one will turn out to be more of like an oak tree instead of a maple. There we go. Creases look good. I was thinking about just putting some more clay there, but I think I'm going to move it over. Fill in that. Okay. It really feels like I'm doing sausage. Ha ha ha. I actually had sausage today and it wasn't too bad. We had sausage, tacos. Yeah. It was really salty, but it wasn't bad. But everything I've noticed this last, I don't know, 2 months maybe, it doesn't matter what it is. I mean, even like I had that Dr. Thunder. Everything has been tasting super, super salty. I can't tell you why or anything. Weird. Alright, so we have this teeny bit of clay left and the I hope it works bag. I hope it works. Okay, so what we're going to do is with those plates that we just made, those teeny little square ones, we're going to match them up with a little dish if we can. And these you can find at the dollar store for a pack, I think. I don't know. You get a serious good pack of these guys. Trying to see if I had anything out real fast other than these dishes. I do have bigger dishes that we have in the past made. Actually, they're not bad, but you're hearing my egg run around. I have another experiment we are going to be doing with eyeshadow. So I have my pedestal and mortar out, or however you say that, but my pedestal and mortar, whatever, the things that crush up stuff, is actually one of those eggs. So it's been used quite a bit. So with these, I do have the outsides in saran wrap and not the insides. If no, all of these are saran wrap. These are not. Wait, hold on. These are not. So we'll go ahead and use those because I'm going to put them inside the dish instead of on the outside, because the outside has this indentation here that I really do not like. And then once again, if you do the inside instead of the outside, you don't actually have to pop them off or anything. You will have to in a few days, like I mentioned before. Once they get halfway dry, you do want to take them out so that each side gets an even dryness, or it will crack. I already tell you this side is going to be thicker. And if you're worried about cracks, flip it over like a little pancake. Not do that. Not to do that. There we go, try that again. Woo! That is the one bad thing about dishes. They crack very, very easy. Now what you could do, if you wanted to do something like this, make it a little bit easier to kind of use it as a cookie cutter. This is water I do not use, by the way. It's just take a bit of water and touch up the sides. Then you see how much, son of a Heidi-Hi. I didn't push evenly, and I push one side too thick. And that will cut your clay a lot smoother than just trying to push it in. Kind of play with it. Now, since these edges are going to be the edges to your dish, you do want to try to get it as smooth and even as possible. What I do is I just take my fingernail, the ones that I haven't, nervously chewed off, and just kind of scoot those in there to get those extra little fibers to mix in with each other. And the same thing with moving this, you can also, with your spatula, put a little bit of water on it, and it will bring up the item that you're trying to pull up as well much easier. But do remember, you are adding water to your clay, so any of the areas that have that extra water will be more dense than the rest of them. So now what you're going to do is take your dish, very carefully choose which side you're going to put this in. Kind of cup it like you're taking the sides with your fingers and having a little indentation, making it almost like a bowl, because you want the middle to be touching the bottom but still be an even all the way around. So just very slowly move that into place. I actually hear Salem meowing for me right now.
Aww.
Once again, I'm just using the tip of my finger and just patting it down and it out. A few sections are a little thicker than the rest, but it's you're never going to get everything 100%. This is not factory made, people. And as you can see, it fits all the way to the bottom. Do have some cracks that I see, so what I'm just going to do is just push this down. I don't mind if the bowl's thicker than the rest of them, since this one is a standalone item. Now when I paint this one, I'll be putting it with one of those square dishes as a little set. Now if I wanted to, I could have made this thicker, or even go in with like a snake to the edges. But I kind of like how it has a little dish up to my first right. Always clean up your mess before you start new. Now everything that I have been cleaning off of the table and squishing over to the side, I could bring it all together and mix it in with the clay that we have left, but honestly I think we have enough that I will not need to do that. Okay, so here is the, let's see if this is viable. It is a lot wetter than the rest of them have been. The smell still smells like the pine sol. Because this actually had water added to it compared to this. So I really do not believe this will need excess water. But we will see how it looks after. Yeah, see, you can actually see the excess water in this. So after we mix this up, we'll see if we need to add any. That egg needs to come out of that dish. That egg just needs to move. Hi, Aurora. Okay. Yeah, I don't believe I need it because and while I'm squeezing this, I actually feel the moisture kind of moving around it. Hey, no extra water for this guy. I felt something. Oh, I did. Baby girl. Nope, not on this side. Can't even tell that actually went into it. So cats are going nanners today, guys. Cats are going nanners. So I'm trying to let my hands play with this for a second and think of some ideas for those heads that I want to make. I'm thinking it might need to be a hollowish head. And then pack it with something. because it's going to be, I mean, this is, like I said, a very lightweight paper clay, but it's still going to be heavier than the armature and body materials. Body I got down. I already know how that's gonna look and work. Head, that's getting me. Dead like me, anybody? I swear to goodness, I felt like I was cutting a brain. I think get one more teeny dish out of it to match that square dish. That's a little bit more than I wanted, but that's okay. We can deal with that. I think all of these are cracked. I think that's why they don't have a film on them. Okay, so I'm just wetting the edges so that we can easier rotate this. Now, since all of this is pretty much the same thickness as each other, I'm just going to actually leave those in its pieceable items, and then we can just squish them together and roll them out again. Oh, no, girl. All cracked. Once again, gently pick up your clay. Make a kind of a dish with your hands so that when it settles to the bottom, it's on an equal setting. Then gently push down. You need to be careful, since this is cracked, that it will have a little bit more movement than others. Come on, get in there. Okay, the sides are even, the middle feels good. And once this gets halfway dry, what you're going to do is just pop it out and then let it sit upside down so that the bottom also has a drying time. Okay. As I mentioned before, all of these are pretty much, not pretty much, these are all the same thickness. So we're just going to sort of puzzle it together. Stick them into place and then roll them out. And then we'll have another. Can't believe it's already November. I've already been asked many times if I'm going to be doing ornaments, and honestly, I'm not sure. How about you guys? Do you guys have any holiday crafting going on? This is actually a good thickness. Again, grabbing the water. Covering things. So cracked it doesn't want to cut. This will actually, if you do that correctly, you don't have a cracked dish to bring it up. You'd actually get a little beveled section that way. So it kind of rolls up by itself without it. Ooh, that had all the dirty stuff in it. That was smart. That's okay. I can take this big old table outside and shake it off. You see the Aurora. That was not. Go put that. Okay, so I got 2 small dishes, I got 2 small plates. We've got the 5 tree dishes started. And all we have left is what you see here. Not too shabby for a night's work. Our next set of clay will not be dishes. And if they are dishes, they will not be easily molded like these have been. They'll be more freehand and unique. No, you are not allowed to steal the pop sticks, my love. And I can't pick her up. This is how you can tell I'm a real mom. Use the elbows to pick up the kitten. She's trying to like go run off with my pop sticks. Okay, always check your bottoms. Make sure, like, this is a huge crack right there. What you can do is you can either push down and fill in that crack, or you can wait until it's almost dry. Take a little bit of sap. I don't know what it's actually called. When I know what it's called, I just can't think of it at this point. That's just what it means is you're just taking the clay with a whole bunch of water, watered down, and kind of smoothing it into that section.
Like some paste?
Yeah, it basically it makes it into a paste. Yeah, at this point in time in the designing of the dish, you can add some indentations, you can add designs. Stamps. You can stamp a little stuff into these. Yeah, that just does not come out, that crack. So I'm gonna have to do it in the drying process. Because the more I push into it, all it's doing is just making the sections uneven. So we'll just deal with one side and then we'll do with the next side later. I do have videos on my YouTube how to fix cracks and the drying process. So if you guys really do want to check that out, to learn how to do it while you're doing these processes, feel free to. All right. Yeah, this one's gonna happen. All I'm doing right now is just adding a little bit of water onto this. Because do remember, the longer that you have the clay out, the drier it's going to get. So adding a little bit of water to your clay mix while waiting is not that big of an issue. You can also do a wamp. Yeah, you can do a wamp. A damp tissue or a towel over your clay, and that will also help with the drying out process. Right now we're getting a lot of pull up because I am pushing on it. Or I was just keeping the same pressure on all of the sides, you wouldn't get more of a pull up. One, two, need to go ahead and do one more teeny dish, and let's do an off the wall item. Sides filled. No, I don't do puzzles at all. Not at all. Trying to move this more away from those two little sections so that I can roll it out a little bit more flatter and even. An off the wall item. What can I? Oh, this caught her attention. Boop. The sad part about this is I don't remember what I did the last time when I used the doilies. So we're playing this by ear again. I think I'm gonna have to adjust the middle. That looks about the middle now. Good. One good thing about having teeny fingers. You checking Mama out? No, 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 no. You can't be up here. Corners, I think in the middle and here, I really don't mind not having too much of the pattern, but I really want to try to keep this flower pattern intact. Clean out this. Now, the last time I did these, I did pull it up as soon as I was done with it. But I think with this one here, I'm going to actually keep it in there just a bit longer. We do have this dish that I kept the play in. Okay, look back, my love. Look back. No, 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 no. That Anne Hathaway YouTube video you watched where she put lipstick on while she with her elbow?
Her elbow, yeah.
Well, that's how I just picked up baby girl. Like, that's how I picked up baby girl. So what we're going to, and of course she's back, you know, before I'm even back over my side. So I'm going to try to do is do a little flipsy-roo with our stuff. But I don't think that's going to actually work because it's stuck onto the dish. That's from the outside. So that did not work. No, no, no. I did not see your tongue come out, so that's good. You can smell it all you want, but you cannot taste it. You cannot taste it, girly. Nope, no. Come on, baby. At least she started doing this at the end. She was like, here, I'll help. Oh, it broke. It broke.
Oh. It did do it.
Mm-hmm. It did keep a cool pattern for a little bit there, but hey. Sometimes you can do it, sometimes you can't. So that just, you know, everything's an experiment. Right this second. Doesn't mean I can't retry. Just means I can't go that thin. We do also have these two that we can do something with. It's too wet. She's getting all adorable right now. I think she's getting sleepy. No, it looks like a hamburger patty.
If your hamburger is that color,
Dude, my hamburger is this color.
it's going to garbage.
That or it's not cooked all the way. That's just gruesome. I can't even think of that. I can't even think of that. And if we can. Oh, you son of a Heidi Height. Well, until it decided to do that. Pretty even. Not any cracks. Making sure I get the outer layers as well nice and watered down so that when I pull up, it doesn't actually just stick like it just did first time around. Try to find your center. For some reason, I was just going to say try to find your sister. Don't know where that came from, but okay. Like I said, the cleanup for this is going to be super, super easy. Worst case scenario, I can go outside, just shake all this off. If it's even more messier than that, all I have to do is take a hose to it, and my, yard gets a little bit of water and nutrients because of the paper. Circle of life, people. Circle of life. Now it sounds weird, but it works. Everybody keeps talking about food. Aww. Thank you so much for that, host. Hey, Standing Wolf, how are you doing, buddy? How are you doing? How are you and the pups? My clan is doing wonderful. We just got a new little one on Halloween. I am doing all right. Doing all right. I would give you a shout out, my friend, but as you can see, we are playing with clay, and that means I am nowhere near my I am nowhere near my keyboard. A bit tired? I bet. I have no clue what time it is for reals. My thing says 1, but I think it should have been later because today is daylight savings time, depending on where you are located. Yeah, see, this one's a lot more indented than the last time. So I'm hoping and wondering if the pick up and move, oops, actually. Oh, and guys, if you do want to see how this clay looks on thinner pieces and more designs and paint and everything else like that, I did do a series of the paper clay with newspaper, with the insulation paper, and the TP paper. And we have a full start to finish series on how all of those turned out. And I loved them all. They were all really darn cute. Whew, that scared me. Not as bad as a pour, but that still scared me. So what I'm going to actually do is just keep this in here with this. Get it a little bit more flattened out. Let it dry in there a little bit. Kind of hoping it had more. Sorry, that got me to think. Do I have a teenier dish than this that I might be able to get that little dome going? The dome going. A few of these, because since I already have it flipped, It actually fit. And yes, that was my little yoo-hoo from a kitty side of me. It was, it really was though, wasn't it? I was like, holy snack. It did. The only bad thing is I don't have two exactly like this. You know what I mean? Because the other doilies I have, I can't get a thick because this one is, you know, pretty thick, where these, they're very thin. They still gave a really nice indentation, but they really didn't show up.
Right.
These kind of did, but still not as this one, because this one's more of, like, you can tell these are handmade, where this one here is a machine made. So it's much more tighter compared to a looser knitting, if that made any sense.
Yeah.
Nothing beats old-fashioned making it yourself, I'm telling you. You just lose something in production. Okay, so like I mentioned before, we will give this probably about half a day of drying before I, ooh, that's another thing I just realized. It's on the outside and not on the inside like they usually are. So that actually might turn out different too. So hey, we started something new today. It's a new project. Okay, so we'll take this out, flip it, carefully remove it from the dish, and we'll see how that turns out. And of course, like always, we will have pictures and highlights of the stream on the YouTube. So check that out. That's a nice smooth dish in there too. All right, so what we can do, we have these two pieces. Yep, I knew she was tired. Knew she was tired. She already passed out right in front of me. Man, if my hands weren't so dirty, I would so go into that room and grab another one. I actually made one. My very first paper dish, I made one with this one. It's on the pictures where it shows the, has the green pour on it. It was, I think, one of my very first pours and my very first clay dishes. Why not give it a try? Worst case scenario, it doesn't work. Trying to see if this will actually even work before I try to indentate it. Right. Now the idea I got this from, they use way different types of clay than I'm using here. So it takes the indentations of whatever they're working with so much more. Oh, that was way too much water. That was way too much water. I just needed like a brush full, but that's okay. We'll get it to work. I just want the star that's in the middle, basically. This is making me want barbecue. I'm telling you, you guys got this food stuck in my head with my clay. And you should not be thinking about food when you're working with clay. Hey. All I'm doing is using the edges of the bowls to kind of keep that roundness to this. So it's still sort of the same shapes all the way around. So it doesn't kind of go oval. I definitely do not want to cut this, but man, I wish I could. I mean, I can, but I'm not going to. Because, you know, as soon as I do, I'm going to not like myself for it. Because honestly, doilies are hard to find. You'd think, I mean, when I was growing up, we had doilies everywhere. I mean, if you didn't have a doily hanging off of something, you know. I saw this idea with the clay, and we went thrift store shopping. Only one place had doilies. That's how I got these. And the lady gave me a discount on them because she was like surprised that a youngster, not that young, but anyway, that a youngster knew what a doily was. And then we went to another place and they had a doily and they wanted $80 for it. I was like, it's a doily.
Holy shit.
That's what I said. I was like, it's a doily. She goes, yes, but it's handmade doily. And I was just like, okay, lady. I didn't burst her bubble or anything, but you know, you just kind of wanted to. It was a more upscale consignment store.
Yeah, but $80? Jesus.
On the 80. 80.
No.
$8? Oh, okay, maybe. You know, some doilies with really good, you know, I don't know what it's called. You know, with handwriting, it's penmanship. But yeah, I was just like, ah, no, not my style. Thank you. Okay. Now I am going to do what I did with the other one. And if you hear that, guys, that is my cat in a dark bathroom scratching at the mirror. No, that doesn't give me nightmares at all. Not at all. With this one, I'm just pushing down oh so evenly. And as before, these are all experiments. I have no clue what I'm doing. If I ever say I know what I'm doing, run for the hills. Because I've been taken over by aliens. Edges look gorgeous. They feel nice. Bottom looks like I just pulled up that one. Yes. Yes, I am not much of a dork tonight. Okay. Alright. But anyways, so the middle is really, really close to being centered. So that is really nice. So we'll see how that turns out. Worst case scenario, I can leave this one alone, flipped this over, and do one on the inside, but I don't know. I just don't think that might work. So what we're going to do is try to do what we just did. Again. Actually, and flip that over. Bring it back into a oval. Get some of these cracks out. We can do this. We can do it. We're gonna make it work, right? We'll make it work. And I just realized what I did wrong. Again, I should have flipped this. Now it's this is part right there is going to be flipped, so I really don't know how that is going to affect mine. But that's cool. I have some that has the designs in the middle, and I have some now that I have some that have the designs on the back. So I think that's actually kind of cool. I can actually rewatch how I did the insides compared to how I did the outside, and then see which ones I like better. Because most of the time, people only see dishes in certain positions. Ooh, that's a little bit. I almost started to sing an Elton John song. That's not me. No. Please just work. We're turning into an egg. This is where I wish I can actually. I was just gonna say this is where I wish I can actually just pick it up and look at it from the bottom without having to tip it over. Yeah, you can do that. So to be extra careful, because there are two here. Sides in there. Sides feel good. Even the bottom is not centered as well as the other side, but you know, it still has that really cool kind of flower design that is here. We'll get something. I know it looks like mush, but that's just from the excess water. That will dry up because we do have the fabric that's going to be taking up some of that water and drying, and the clay as well will be taking up that excess. So yeah, I think we did all right. Of course, not everything turned out the way I wanted it to. This is the clay that was out the longest for different trips to different places. I will give you guys pictures on this, like any of my streams. I do have highlights of the stream of everything that we have done for that stream. Most of the time it has some of just the wet items. We also have some of the ones that have the dry items as well. So if I can clean up my little mess a bit, and I will show you guys what we have done if you are just joining us. And I do want to thank everybody who has come in, and most 100% thank you to my good friend Yum here, who has stayed by my side through all the what the heck did I just do now moments. Okay, so we have these two here. We'll just get these out of the way. So we got these two here that have this pattern on them. On both of the bottoms. If I tip them up, they're gonna kind of move, so we won't go ahead and do that. These cups are really, really nice. I got them at the dollar store. We like that one's just the bad one. That one had way too much liquid on it. So as you can kind of see, it really hit the center on this one. I'm really happy with this one. I'm hoping this one turns out, but if it doesn't, you know, it's okay. It's still one of its kind. No one will ever make one like this one, right? We also have this beauty. I am not taking it out, but it has a really cool flower design right in the middle. It looked really nice when I put it in here. Yeah, so we'll see how this one looks. I do have this pattern on other dishes that we did on our last round. It was on the inside compared to this one where it's going to be on the outside. So if you guys want to take a look at the pattern, definitely do that. And then we have just a plain little, I'm calling them finger dishes or ring dishes. We have a few of those. I believe we only had 3. So 2 of these dishes are going to go with these teeny dishes, and we have 2 of these. We've got 2 of these dishes here. They have little kind of indentations inside. And these will be like this for about 2 days, and then you want to pop them out, turn them around, and let them air dry so that both sides can get an even dry. And then we have this beautiful one. We have 5 dishes that are like this. This is the bottom, so that's why it's kind of completely different. In about an hour, what I'm going to do is get some water, very gently go over the surface of this, just to kind of, let me see if I can show you what I mean. So this is just a little bit of water. See if you guys can see the moisture, and then you just kind of go around, and then you're going to get little fuzzies like that. And then those little fuzzies, what you can do is just rub into little holes that kind of pop up from the drying process. Don't put pressure onto it, because in that way you're actually moving the whole clay. But what you want to do is just slightly move it into a circular motion to kind of get all these little fibers out. And that will actually really smooth out your clay and less sandy later on if you want more of a, I really hate this camera, more of a smoother thing. The inside of this, see if you guys can see it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and grab the dish that we first did, but these have some really nice veins in them, going all the way to the tips, all the way coming to this section here and wrapping around. It looks like a really beautiful tree. So that one here, we have 5 dishes of these. Oh. And I really, really love these guys, these little trays here. These are soda holders. You know, you can find them at your stores. Most of the store that I found these at were just giving them away. I have 10 of them, and I like it so much because they have the holes here. They stack, you know, sideways or on each other. This is actually a little bit more protruding up than the rest of them, even though you wouldn't think so, like with this bowl here. So I can actually set all 10 on these and not worry about breaking or damaging or chipping any of my items. Okay, let me just, and then just like that, as you can see, no indentations, no problems, nothing like that. But the reason I also like this is no matter if I'm having the clay on the bottom, or if I have it, like if I want to just hit this upside down like this, it still has an even airflow. So no matter which way I do it, it's going to dry properly and not a problem. I do have some of these covered. That's just because these are the ones that I had the pour on. And yeah, easy peasy. But I'm not going to do that with all of these, just in case they decide they're going to. do that indentation. So we have 5 of the trees. We will be having a full set of flower trees, of some with purple flowers, some with maroon flowers, some with I was going to say daisy blossoms. Is that a such thing? I don't think so. But anyway, some with cherry blossoms. And I'm actually really excited to do that that series. And yeah, so we have a lot of little bowls that are going to be coming out in a few, give or take a week. So in about a week, these will be completely dry. What I will do then is seal them. I seal them with a glue, and then after the glue has completely dried, I seal them with a gesso or a base color, and then we do a pour, an acrylic pour on top of those, and they turn out pretty nice. Not as nice as a plain fabric, but yeah, I guess it's fabric canvas ones, but they do have a really nice finish to them. Okay, Daisy is asleep, so give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back, and I will show you the stitches that I was talking about with the flowers, and we'll check out the items that we did on our last stream where they're dry. Yay! So we can show you guys how those experiment turned out.
You're in the alley now. You're in the alley now.
Holy crap, let's get this shit done.
Okay, so that was a really bad delay. My husband has been in this room since before I actually started streaming, and yeah, a long time ago I was trying to work on the sound effects when someone comes into the room, and that was the only one that's ever worked. And of course, I was testing it out with the streaming group that I'm in. And I've just never turned it off because, you know, if his was the only one that worked, I was thinking, oh, hey, I can, you know, get it to work on other ones. Yeah. So don't ask me why it took 3 hours and 20 minutes for that to actually pop up. Who knows? It's a paw thing. Okay, guys. So this is a really, really bad one, so please don't judge me. Don't judge me, monkey. But if you guys can see that design here, that is the with the 2 dishes that we just did. That's the design that came out of it. I didn't really get it too centered on this one here. I just grabbed the first one the first one. So those are the teeny little dishes with acrylic pour on them. This was another doily that we did. Get the camera to focus. But this is going to be the size of the dishes that has that first design that I just showed you. So that's what's going to be on the outside, is that design. So we'll have this design on the back. I know that's not really giving you guys a good example, but and these are how the dishes actually look with the acrylic pours. You really can't see the gorgeous, gorgeous colors and canyon. I call them canyons because it reminds me of the Grand Canyons when it kind of does these little, oh, they're just so beautiful. So this is a pour inside of the dish. I really wish you guys could see this. And the dish, the small dishes look like these when they're done. See how that has the lines in them? Going up and down. And then the flat back. This was just a bad pour. Yeah, these are actually go together. So this was one pour. These were the same time and totally different colors. It just totally washed everything out and then tried to match the backs. And this is another dish. We did 2 pours, one on each side. We did the back first, and then we did the front. That's why you have this beautiful kind of edging to it. The big doily, the one that's in the red dish, this is another one that we did with the doily that kind of gave it a really nice texture. And get another pour. I really wish the camera would pick up these really gorgeous colors and everything, because they really do pop. And we also had these dishes. This is the one that we did the 5 dishes to. As you can see, they all come down to this really nice point. Then yeah, so what we're going to do is we're going to outline the veins of them and then do little flowers or leaves on each of the branches here, and then maybe throw in like a bird or 2. Maybe I could see a little bird, like, just why I do. And then, like I said, this is my cauliflower, but these are actually maple leaves. But both sides did have a pour and then was outlined. So we're going to have 5 of these, not including this one here. So we'll have those as our streams for coming up. And then for our last stream, which I was so excited about, my fellow friends, this was our last experiment. So we used fabric, just fabric, like, you know, everyday fabric. Probably made shirts out of this. I don't know what they made with these, to tell you the truth. No clue. And we did some pours on them. Each little one here is made with a tape roll. And we did different ones. Like this one here has nothing, so that means it has no gesso, it has no glue. I just did a complete pour on this with nothing on it, and this is how it turned out. As you can hear, it is completely solid. It is still kind of viable to move, but not like, you know, bad. This is the only one that did seek through. I'm not sure if you can see that there. This is the only one that did have a seek-through compared to the others. This one here, I just sealed it with glue. I didn't do anything else with it. So this one is just the fabric and a glue seal. Once again, it does have a really good sounding to it. Sounds really nice. It has not cracked. It does have little indentations in it, but I'm thinking that was from the dimethicone that we used. But it did have some really nice textures and items going around it. As you can see, the edges also looked really nice, and there was no seekage on the back. You can still see the fabric design. So this was just glue. This one here is just the gesso. As you can hear, kind of has a little bit of a different sound to it. It is also still very movable. The back is pretty soft. Once again, no seekage. It does have a little bit of a more whiteness to the little colorization on the back, but that's from the gesso. The gesso is colored white, of course. As you can see, this teeny little white spot there, that's the gesso that the paint mixed. And this one also did turn out really nice. I wasn't really even. As you can see, this kind of got stuck underneath it, so it poured more on some of the sections, or we would have had a really nice painting on that one. This one here is the glue and gesso, so this got the works. A little bit more toughness to it. It still is pretty much, you know, movable. It's not cracking. None of these have cracked. We will be doing another same experiment. We're going to be doing 4 fabrics, same fabric, same, you know, gesso, same glue, same everything. The only difference is we're going to be doing a teeny little bit more of a smaller pour, and we're going to be cutting this up because I don't have anything else that is 4. Trust me, I've looked. And so we're going to be cutting this into 4s and doing exactly the same to see if we get any difference in the process of this. But I think these turned out really nice, no matter if it was plain or if it had the whole kit and caboodle. And all of these were done the same. They had the same amount of paint, the same amount of everything. So I really like that experiment. I really cannot tell you which one is the best or which one turned out better, because they all turned out really, really nice. If you're in a pinch and you guys need a canvas and you just really have that itch to do a pour, it uses a lot of paint, so as you guys can tell, it can all work. And, you know, let's find a better one, and you guys can get a really good pour on our paper clay as well. And this is the same clay that we worked with today. So all of the dishes that we've used and that you guys have seen today is the same clay that we've used for the dishes today. I think I just said that 4 times in a row, but hey. Yeah, know what I'm trying to say. But yes, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really do appreciate it. We will be... Alexa? Off? Why is she going off at 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't know. Oh my goodness, Paws is going to be like, why didn't I get up at 3:30 in the morning? I'll be like, I didn't know you were supposed to. Who knows? I don't know, guys. I really don't. But anyways, do look forward to some more experiments with the clay. We are going to be doing the Misfit Toys collection more with the art dolls. We will be doing the Misfit toy collection with the Paws and puzzle pieces coming out. We're going to be doing the more experiments with plain fabric to see what we can do with this fabric other than just sewing it and making teddy bears or animals or whatever we think of. I mean, come on, we all know I don't have a normal thinking process, so who knows what's going to come out of this brain. We all know that. If you expect normal, yeah, might be on the wrong stream. But if you want fun and silly and oh my good moments, that's me. That's just me. So guys, yes, thank you so much for joining me. I will catch you guys later. We're gonna definitely be baking up some more clay, but that will not be on stream. That's just because I have to use a power tools while making the clay because I really want it to be mixed up compared to this set of clay where I kept it more chunky. I just wanted to see what the difference was going to be with the last set compared to this one. This clay turned out really nice. I do have those videos up. Oh, treats. Yes. You have watched 25 hours. I don't know what I'm going to do with the treats yet. I don't. Yeah. I'll figure something out one of these days, I promise. But guys, I hope you've smiled at least once today. If you haven't, I hope you guys' day is not over so you can't get that smile in. I'm going to be chipping all day today. We are going to definitely see who is out there doing some streaming. If you guys have a favorite streamer you would like to see me raid, just go ahead and put in the name right now. If not, we're going to see if anybody that I know is on. And if there's nobody who I know is on, we're going to find a new person and make their night or morning, depending on what time period they are at. But you guys have a good one. Sorry, I'm like, I got to touch my mouse. I got to get some of this dust off. But yes, as promised, we have a kitty cat. That's Aurora. Can you be my screensaver for a bit? You guys can watch Aurora for a split second while we do this raid. Please guys stick around so it can make someone stay. Trust me, it really, really does. And that is Aurora. She is up for adoption really soon. I believe next week she goes in for her stay. Oh, look at that. She's all cleaning her feetsies. She's cleaning her feetsies. I love my girl. Say 3D printers, people. Yes. We are going to actually trade. Oh, he's not there. There? Okay, well, the person I was just going to raid just left. Gotta love it. this person is doing acrylics pour. So guess who we are going to be rating, my friend? Rating a person. They stick around. Guys, actually, this person's just starting, so we are going to get a treat. Thank you guys for joining me. Octorok! Dude, I was just rating you. Hi, Octorok. How are you doing, buddy? Shouts out to you. I would shout out, but I can't type. Guys, this is Octorok. He is a wonderful, wonderful streamer. He also volunteers at the SPCA. Yeah, I was just raiding you and you had just gotten off. I was like, oh, darn. But we are going to actually do a raid right now. I'm sorry, guys. Hi to everybody who came in with my good friend Octorok. Guys, if you don't know him, check him out. He plays a lot of troll. Did you get dragged him into the game yet before I leave? Go fast, yes or no? Yeah, I know, dude. You're my hero when it comes to that. You are my hero to no end. But guys, you have a good night. I'm sorry, I'm leaving as soon as I'm direct break, but it's late. The little one's doing great, doing wonderful. I will be having pictures up for him real soon.